You hear it all the time, right? That AI is this incredible, almost magical force that's changing our world in ways we can barely wrap our heads around. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the secret to AI isn't really magic at all, but something as simple as economics? That's exactly what we're going to break down today. This quote from venture capitalist Steve Jurvetson just hits the nail on the head. You know that feeling of awe you get from a car that drives itself, or a phone that translates a foreign language in real time? It feels like magic. It feels, well, almost beyond our understanding. And that's the big question, isn't it? What happens if we just pull back the curtain and look at what AI is actually doing? It turns out the secret isn't some crazy complex technology. In fact, it's something surprisingly simple.
And let's be real, that feeling of magic is everywhere. It feels like this powerful, this almost unknowable force that's already woven into the fabric of our daily lives.
I mean, just think about this. A kid asks a random question, and before a parent can even search their own memory, a little machine on the counter just chimes in with the perfect answer. Dover. In so many homes, Alexa has become the source of truth. It really feels like that machine knows things. But here's the twist. It doesn't. It's doing something completely different.
Okay, so if Alexa doesn't know the capital Delaware, then what on earth is it actually doing? Well, it's using one single, incredibly powerful tool that's at the heart of pretty much all modern AI.
And that tool is prediction. See, AI isn't thinking the way we do. It's just filling in the blanks. It takes the information it has, like the sound of your voice, to generate the information it doesn't have, like the text of the words you just spoke. It's a prediction. And this right here is the huge disconnect between how we see AI and what it's actually doing. We see this grand general intelligence, this knowing and thinking. But under the hood, AI is just a prediction machine. It's calculating probabilities to fill in missing information.
So this means the AI revolution isn't really about creating a new kind of mind. It's an economic story. Think about it like this. When computers came along, they made arithmetic dirt cheap, and that changed everything. Well, AI is doing the exact same thing for prediction. And when something that fundamental becomes cheap, the world absolutely transforms.
Okay, so if prediction is getting cheaper and faster and better all the time, what does that mean for our jobs? For the skills that are actually going to matter in this new world?
There's this basic idea in economics about substitutes and complements. Think of coffee and sugar. If coffee gets super cheap, what happens? People buy more sugar to go with it. Sugar is a complement. So here, as machine prediction gets cheaper, its substitute, us humans trying to predict things, becomes less valuable. But its complements, the things that go with it, like the data that fuels it, and the human judgment that decides what to do with it, they become way more valuable.
So this dance between prediction and judgment, that's basically the new partnership between us and machines. And to make this really click, let's just break down a super simple decision we've all had to make.
All right, so the machine, the weather app, it does its job. It gives you the prediction. 25% chance of rain. Great. But that machine has no idea how much you personally hate getting stuck in the rain, or how annoying you find it to lug an umbrella around all day. That part, that's all you. That's your judgment. You weigh the outcomes, and the final decision to grab the umbrella comes from putting the machine's prediction and your human judgment together.
Now that simple umbrella framework, prediction plus judgment equals a decision, it's not just about staying dry. When you take that same idea and you scale it up, it can completely revolutionize entire industries.
Let's take a giant like Amazon. Right now, its AI looks at what you've browsed and recommends stuff it thinks you'll buy. And it gets it right about 5% of the time, which, when you think about the millions of things they sell, is kind of wild, but it's still just 5%.
But here's where it gets really interesting. What if we could crank that dial way, way up? What happens when that 5% prediction accuracy becomes 50% or 80%? Or what if it gets close to perfect? Well, the whole game changes. Right now, we live in a shop then ship world. You browse, you click, they ship it. Simple. But with near perfect prediction, you could flip that whole model on its head to ship then shop. Just imagine Amazon shipping a box of things to your house before you even order them because it's that confident you'll want to keep most of it. That would completely change the definition of shopping.
So why isn't this happening right now? I mean, why isn't a box from Amazon already on your doorstep? It's simple economics again. At a 5% success rate, you'd be sending back 95% of the stuff they sent you. The cost of shipping and processing all those returns would be absolutely massive. The only thing standing in the way of that future is the current cost of an imperfect prediction.
And as that cost of prediction continues to fall, look, this isn't just about Amazon's business model, this is about your career path and my career path. So the real billion-dollar question is, what does this all mean for us?
The first piece of the puzzle is getting this straight, right now. The task of prediction, of forecasting what's going to happen based on data, that is becoming a job for machines. Full stop. They're just getting better, faster, and cheaper at it than we'll ever be.
And that leads us to the most important, and honestly, the most empowering takeaway of all. As prediction becomes a cheap commodity like electricity, the uniquely human skill of judgment, the ability to decide what to do with a prediction, to define goals, to weigh what truly matters, that becomes more critical and more valuable than ever before.
So let's boil it all down. The key is to stop thinking of AI as some kind of unknowable magic and start seeing it for what it is, cheap prediction. And once you do that, it becomes crystal clear what's really valuable now. The data that feeds the predictions and the human judgment that gives those predictions purpose. This is a mental model you can use to spot the real opportunities in your own life and work.
And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. For most of human history, getting answers was the hard part. But now that the cost of getting a prediction is dropping to almost zero, the real bottleneck isn't the answer anymore. It's the question. Your ability to use your judgment to ask new, better, and more important questions, that's your new superpower.